What is up, guys? Today we are going to be taking the truck on a little bit of an off-roading excursion. We're up here in Sanpete County. We're going to be heading up Spring City Road up to Spring City Canyon. We're just going to go find some trails to go off-roading on. It should be a little fun adventure. I'm here with my little sister. Jade, say hi.
Hi.
So we're gonna go do some off-roading and just have some fun, get some pictures of the truck and make a little off-roading video. Because I know that I've been doing all this stuff to my truck and everyone's wondering like, hey, when are you gonna take this thing off-road? Like, you're doing all this stuff to it. You're talking about, you know, a lift kit. You're talking about doing all this stuff for it. Take it off-road. So here we go. We're gonna go on our first little off-roading excursion. All right, so far we've only been able to find pretty simple dirt roads right now, so it's not really off-roading. They're all washboarded and stuff like that, so you know, it feels like you're off-roading because you're rattling so much, but not quite any trails yet. We're still on the hunt. All right, so one of the big goals while we're driving up here is one to kind of test out the Colorado, how it does in four-wheel drive, how it does in two-wheel drive, you know, on dry trails. But my big goal is to try and find some mud, some water, really take it through some of that mud and water and get it all gross and dirty. So my little sister back in the 8th grade, she did a little book report on this county, ironically enough. And so she's gonna tell us some facts while we're going on this fun little drive. And what was one of the facts? Where did the Sanpete name come from?
Okay, so the origin of the county name came from the Sanpete Utes, which were an Indian tribe here.
Interesting, the more you know. All right, so we're still on that main road, but it got a little narrow there for a second, a little scary. But we're getting close to the top of the mountain. Hopefully here in a second, we'll hit a little plateau and be able to get a really good shot of the view. All right, guys, so we just made it to the top of the mountain. Gorgeous view up here. I'll see if I can get a shot there for you. Super sweet view of Sanpete County and a super fun trail. Obviously, it's Labor Day weekend up here, so there are razors everywhere. People are all over the place. So we've passed like probably 70 to 80 razors already. And yeah, it's been a fun little ride so far. What do you think, Jade?
It's been good.
Yeah? Some more of our friends. All right, so I think we found the trail we're gonna take. It's narrow. I don't have a good shot of it right now, but in a second, I'll have Jade or myself will film us going down the trail. I'll probably have her hop out a couple different times if it gets too narrow, both for safety and so she can get some good footage of what we're going on. It looks more like a four-wheeler trail, but the truck's not super wide, so we should be okay. It looks like a side-by-side could probably go down it, so I'm not too worried. But this is gonna be an adventure. All right, so we're about maybe 100 yards from where we started, not very far, but this is a very narrow trail. I have maybe had a little bit too much confidence in myself. It's kind of scary, not gonna lie. 10 being the scariest, 1 being the least scary. Probably at like a 7 right now. I'm at a solid 7, not only in damaging my truck, but and getting stuck or not even being able to turn around. I think what I'm gonna do to be safe, once we get to a spot where I think I can turn around, I'm just gonna turn around. This trail is definitely meant for razors and four-wheelers, but it was an adventure, it was a challenge, so I had to accept it, and I did. So now I can honestly say that I've taken it off-road. Whether it was rock crawling, no, but it was definitely off-roading. We definitely hit one bump that already has made some love to the bottom of my truck. So we're gonna continue on till I can find a spot to turn around. All right, so I didn't get a ton of footage on the trail. Maybe, I actually think I did get some decent footage. Jade, would you say we got some decent footage?
Yeah, we did.
Okay, good. You know, however, that escalated very quickly for me from an 8, or what did I say, a 7? A 7 out of 10 to a 10 out of 10. That was terrifying. So it got to a point where I wanted to flip around. I didn't feel comfortable going any further, and we couldn't find a spot to flip around. I did try flipping around by backing down what I thought wasn't a very steep incline. Luckily, I kicked it into 4 low and was able to get out of there super easy. It was a little scary, and I learned my lesson. I went a little bit overboard, especially for my first time off-roading. I shouldn't have gone by myself, at least not without some kind of recovery vehicle or recovery equipment. I was dead in the water on that. But I learned some lessons on driving. The Colorado's nice and scraped up now. Most of those should buff out with a nice little buff and puff. But let me show you some of the damage we occurred. So this is the first piece, kind of tore up that bumper piece out. But as you will see, or as you guys saw in my previous video, I'm planning to replace the front and back bumpers anyway. Then when I was stuck on that hill, we crushed in our running board. So that's nice and beat up. Kind of see it under there. So I'm just grateful we got out of there. But other than that, it's mainly just some scrapes, some bruises. Did kind of bend up the license plate cover. So have to get that fixed, and or maybe some new ones. But other than that, all just a bunch of scratches. But I can honestly say I've taken the Colorado off-road now, official off-road, and she survived. She did a good job. Definitely hugged the corners and actually just drove really well, in my opinion. I'm not a crazy off-roader. I haven't done a lot of off-roading. All things considered, for the most part though, she did a good job. You know, she got some beating, she got some love. I haven't checked the undercarriage because I did scrape a couple times, so I'll have to check that out and see what damage I did there. But here's hoping we didn't do any serious damage. So, but I think we're done for today. What would you say? Yeah, I think we're gonna go back to camp. I might drive down to the city and maybe get it washed so it doesn't look as beat up. I'm a little sad right now.
Another fun fact coming your way. So, Manti is a place in Sanpete County, and it was where some of the first settlers settled at, and they didn't know it, but they settled on top of a rattlesnake mound, and the very first day of settling, they killed over 300 rattlesnakes.
300?
300.
That's a lot of snakes.
Yeah.
All right, guys, little update. So I wanted to find out the true extent and damage of the scratches and the body damage. And so I went to the car wash and got the truck cleaned up just so I could really see, so there wasn't any dirt covering anything. And I also wanted to see how bad the scratches were without dirt in them. And I'll tell you, there are definitely some pretty brutal scratches on her. I'll definitely have to get those either buffed out or cover them with a wrap or get the parts and pieces repainted. It just depends. I am planning to put some lower wraps on the truck to prevent for that in the future. getting scraped up, it'll scratch the wrap instead of the truck. That's gonna do it for this video. Guys, always remember,
take what you can, give nothing back.
Now, bring me that horizon.
I'll make you regret